Facebook. Dad writes on son's Facebook wall.
Dear son, how are you? All are fine here. We miss you a lot. Please turn off the computer and come downstairs for dinner.
Facebook. Dad writes on son's Facebook wall.
Dear son, how are you? All are fine here. We miss you a lot. Please turn off the computer and come downstairs for dinner.
Flies. A woman walked into the kitchen to find her husband walking around with a fly swatter. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Hunting flies," he responded. "Oh, killing any?" she asked. "Yep, 3 males and 2 females," he replied. Intrigued, she asked, "How can you tell?" He responded, 3 were on a beer can, 2 were on the phone.
You looked a lot like my wife. A serious drunk walked into a bar and, after staring for some time at the only woman seated at the bar, walked over to her and kissed her. She jumped up and slapped him silly. He immediately apologized and explained, "I'm sorry. I thought you were my wife. You look exactly like her." "Why, you worthless, insufferable, wretched, no-good drunk!" she screamed. "Funny," he muttered. "You even sound exactly like her."
Cats. I've never understood why women love cats. Cats are independent, they don't listen, they don't come in when you call, they like to stay out all night, and when they're home, they like to be left alone and sleep. In other words, every quality that women hate in a man, they love in a cat.
You should learn to be more polite. One day, Bill and Tom went to a restaurant for dinner. As soon as the waiter brought out 2 steaks, Bill quickly picked out the bigger steak for himself. Tom wasn't happy about that.
When are you going to learn to be polite?
Well, if you had the chance to pick first, which one would you pick?
The smaller piece, of course.
Well, what are you whining about then? The smaller piece is what you want, right? Friends. A woman didn't come home one night. The next morning, she told her husband that she had slept over at a friend's house. The man called his wife's 10 best friends. None of them knew anything about it. A man didn't come home one night. The next morning, he told his wife that he had slept over at a friend's house. So the wife called her husband's 10 best friends. 8 of them confirmed that he had slept over, and 2 said he was still there. The Mental Asylum. During a visit to a mental asylum, a visitor asked the director how they decided whether or not a patient should be institutionalized. Well, said the director, we fill up a bathtub, then we offer a teaspoon, a teacup, and a bucket to the patient and ask him or her to empty the bathtub. Oh, I understand, said the visitor. A normal person would use the bucket because it's bigger than the spoon or the teacup. No, said the director. A normal person would pull the plug. So, do you want a bed by the wall or near the window?
Elephant's milk.
Did you hear about the baby that was fed only elephant's milk and gained 20 pounds in a week?
That's impossible. Whose baby?
An elephant's.
Elephant's.
Half-fare special. One of the airlines recently introduced a special half-fare rate for wives accompanying their husbands on business trips. Anticipating some valuable testimonials, the publicity department of the airline sent out letters to all the wives of businessmen who used the special rates, asking how they enjoyed their trip. Responses are still pouring in, asking, "What trip?"
The taxi driver. During a ride in a taxi cab, the passenger touched the driver on the shoulder to ask him a question. Upon feeling the touch, the cab driver flinched, screamed, and then went into a panic and almost wrecked the cab. Finally, the driver got control and pulled over to the side of the road. Still shaking, he turned to his passenger and apologized. He said,
"Sorry about that. This is my first day as a cab driver. For the past 20 years, I have driven a hearse."
I love you. A man was out for a drink with his wife one night, and he said, "I love you." The wife asked, "Is that you or the beer talking?" He said, "It's me. I'm talking to the beer."